the top news headlines. National Tourism Day observed at Ibudhau Marjing Polo Complex. Only 10% of Manipur's tourism potential explode, laments Commissioner of Tourism P.K. Jha. Governor of Manipur La Ganesha greets people of Manipur on the occasion of Republic Day, urges people to uphold secular, socialist and democratic values enshrined in Constitution. And GCILPS students burn effigy of Amra Bengali secretary, shout slogans against Amra Bengali. Hello, a very good evening. You're watching the Mami TV English News in focus with me, CHENGLEINGANBI. The news in details. Commissioner of Tourism Department P.K. Jha has asserted only 10% of Manipur's tourism potential has been explored so far and laid emphasis on the need to build an integrated tourism complex in the state. He said this during an event held at Ibudhau Marjing Polo Complex at Haingang Hills on the occasion of National Tourism Day. Director of Tourism W.E. Bohalt and people of the area attended the event, organized under the theme Rural and Community-Centric Tourism. Speaking on the occasion, P.K. Jha said, "Every district of the state has its unique features." He praised the beauty and hospitality of this district as he had a chance to work in this district. Stressing the importance of people's support in the field of tourism, he said tourism will help in boosting the economy of the state in the long run. Tourism has a big responsibility in putting the state in the tourism map, P.K. Jha said, acknowledging the role of local entrepreneurs in sprouting the potentials of tourism in Manipur. He said, concerned department alone cannot achieve this feat. There is a need to establish private resort and homestay in different parts of the state to explore its beauty. The department will extend such support to such endeavors to give a new boost to tourism, Jha said.
We'll have far more better avenues and facilities. I'll also request the local entrepreneurs that they should develop infrastructure. Developing infrastructure as far as hospitality is concerned is not the responsibility of government alone.
Governor of Manipur La Ganesha greeted the people of Manipur on the occasion of Republic Day 2022. In his message, the governor stated that people should revere and offer homage to those founding fathers for their foresight and understanding on the occasion of Republic Day. He also expressed confidence that India's progress in science and technology, backed by a young and dynamic populations, will usher the country to greater heights. He appealed to the people to harness the potentials of the youths in the right direction so that they become the main assets for the future. Governor La Ganesha further wished the people to uphold and promote the secular, socialist and democratic values enshrined in the constitutions and to work collectively to make the country great. The Joint Committee on Inner Line Permit System strongly condemned Amra Bengali and organizations based in Assam for filing a public interest litigations to the Supreme Court against the implementations of ILPS in Manipur. On January 7th, leaders of 4 students' organizations, AMSU, MSF, KSA and SUK staged a protest in Imphal city, condemning the Amra Bengali and torched the effigy of its secretary. In continuations of the protest, the Union of the Study Bodies today to torch the effigy of General Secretary of Amra Bengali, Bakul Chandra Roy. Speaking to media persons, President of AMSU Chalambam Haubijam stated that implementations of ILP is not against any community, but it is for the protections of indigenous community and it is the democratic right of the indigenous people. He also maintained that filing a PIL against ILP which provide protections to the indigenous is an unconstitutional act.
yamna community oiba aduga masa khitang khanba aduga yamna bengali khitang khalakada maikhoina aikhoigi lamdamsida aikhoigi notice laiba state ahum mari tadi yaw rakada manipur khitanga atamna inject tawbagi manba moongda aikhoigi lamdamsigi akhoina sanariba ILP asibu sinaraga aikhoigi Supreme Court aikhoina case am file tawai base akoi yaning haibagi mamangda sathakiba thorom adugi makha sathajara poina akoi ngasigi akhoina ibji mai thaba aduga mahirom yamna kulakanda hairiba khofam ase handokadabani aikoi lamdamsigi laiba akhoigi yelong bising asigi laibakse aikoi lamdamsi lepsa kadabani bitok miyan sa singa akhoina lamdamsigi aikhoigi hak se makhoina akhoina kanjakadabani makhoina aikhoigi laibak lepa yaroi haibu wafam duda aikhoina ngasi phau makha sathajapani.
MLA of Wangkhem Assembly Constituency Y. Irabert has written to the Secretary of Manipur Legislative Assembly to ban ex-MLA of the constituency Okram Henry from contesting elections for 6 years under the People's Representations Act yesterday. Advocate of MLA Y. Irabert on his behalf prayed to the Secretary to disqualify Henry under Section 8A and Section 11A of the People's Representations Act after the latter's election as member of the 11th Manipur Legislative Assembly was cancelled on account of corrupt practice in April 2021. The High Court of Manipur in its order on April 15, 2021 stated that involvement in narcotics case is an act of crime against the society and as such it is rules as a corrupt practice under Section 102(3) Clause A of People's Representations Act. However, despite the knowledge of the High Court's order, the Manipur State Election Office has not yet taken up any step to ban Henry from contesting elections under the Act. The written statement to the Secretary of the State Legislative Assembly mentioned it further prayed the State Legislative Assembly to ban Okram Henry for 6 years, taking the above reasons into account. One-day consultations on LGBTQI social protections and human rights in Manipur was held at the conference hall of Institute of Cooperative Management at Lamphel today. The consultation program was jointly organized by Human Rights Law Network Manipur, All Manipur Nupi Manbi Association, Marup Loy Foundation, Transgender Health and Wellness Center Manipur, All Manipur Transman Association and Empowering Transability. Speaking at the program, Director of Human Rights Law Network, Mahobam Rakesh, who attended the program as the speaker, said the consultation was jointly organized by the stakeholders to discuss the hardships and obstacles facing the LGBTQI persons in the society in order to adopt a means to address the same. The India Transgender Persons Act 2019 was brought into effect by the central government in 2020. The Act provides protections of rights of transgender persons and equal treatment in different professions, among others. He stated that the effectiveness of the Act will be thoroughly discussed and laxity in implementations of the Act will be highlighted to the authorities concerned for the welfare of the transgender community and will even take legal help if the need arises.
Transgender tongana specific about law masu leire ad masahariba law sina khoi manipur da leiriba thengnariba problem singda kadai phawba tackle to boya gadagi aduga masi tonglobu phonabada sarkar gi makai lokhot pu thopa thabak sing kari kari lokhot pa awat pana kari leiriba haibani singo mayam du khanane raga resolution ama lawre haraga madu mari lena authority da piraga madu thabak on onthongnaba honaba loinana karigumada tangai phadrabadi angi mateng logdana khoi tawum thokpa authority gi thabak sing adu khoi court gi mateng logdana namdana tawhanabagi thabak lokhanaba adugi dumta sinjaba thorom amani.
Former member of Manipur State Commission for Protections of Child Rights Kaisham Pradeep Kumar was the moderator of the program. A review meeting on COVID vaccination in Manipur was held yesterday, chaired by the Chief Secretary. Authorities concerned of every district have been directed to complete vaccination of second dose for eligible person by January 31st. DGP, SP, CMOs, DIO and JDOs attended the virtual review meeting. According to electoral roll date, the vaccination coverage of first dose is 67%, while that of second dose is 51%. However, as per the targeted populations, the vaccine coverage of first dose is 58% and that of second dose is 88%. It is also said that the Election Commission of India, during a meeting held on January 22nd, has expressed concern over the low percentage of inoculations of the first dose of vaccine in Manipur and asked the government to ramp up COVID vaccinations for the eligible population at the earliest. The national vaccination coverage on average scale of first dose is 96%, while that of second dose is 69%. After extensive deliberations on the matter during the review meeting, JDOs, CMOs and DIOs of every district have been directed to complete the vaccination of second dose and vaccination of first dose for 15 to 18 years old teens by January 31st. On the other hand, in continuations of COVID-19 vaccination drive taken up by the government, a mass COVID-19 vaccination program was held at Ward number 8 and 9 of Yaripok Kekru in Thoubal district on Monday. Yesterday, vaccination program was the fifth one held at the locality. Well-known Sumang Lila artist Happy Razan, who was taking part in the vaccination, appealed to the people to get COVID vaccination.
COVID pandemic, vaccination, vaccination program
A total of 33 people above the age of 18 years received the jab at Khoirom Primary Health Center. Medical Supervisor of Khoirom PHC, Longjam Nageshwar Asa, worker of Kekru Ward number 8 and 9, P. Bhorod Sana Devi and Pangambam Anita Chanu respectively took part in the vaccination program. Steering Committee of Y. Surchandra has rubbished the accusations against Surchandra by MLA of Kaching Assembly Constituency, Maying Lambam Rameshwar and his supporters. Addressing a press meet, convener of the committee, Y. Joy Kumar said, Surchandra is the only worthy leader of the constituency who worked for the welfare of the people for 3 terms. MLA Rameshwar is trying to mislead the people by framing him under a criminal case and trying to deprive him of BJP ticket. He said there is no reason to file a defamation suit against him for spreading such baseless information. MLA Rameshwar faced humiliations during a meeting held at Kaching in the presence of National President of BJP, JP Nadda, Chief Minister and Birint, along with Minister and MLAs for not being able to present 400 to 500 people for the meeting, Joy Kumar said. He further claimed that Kaching district was named as the cleanliest district in the northeast state and was able to achieve the feat for the highest number of enrollment under the supervision of Surchandra. He was able to acquire highest numbers of votes for BJP from 8 constituencies during the elections for Outer MP in 2019. Further, Joy Kumar appealed to the people not to believe in the false accusations against Surchandra spread by MLA Rameshwar and his supporters.
Kaching the Liberiba, Kaching the Kendra the Liberiba, Maruina, Sora, Erengban, Marembam, Hawairo, Aduga, Palen, Biju Puna Singma the Liberiba, Chili now Singna, with the Patavasi, Sanupiganu, a quay Amato in Eliminasi, Swedamakiana, a quay tapping majority of board Kagani, Aduna, Mayang, with the Padava Singado, Sandol Singado, Madu, Miyangi Kolau, Soli Koloni, Maduna Makoi, Swedam be mighty will be by share, if we mang the Tadun Lerabani.
A team of Bisnupur commando apprehended 1 person along with huge quantity of beer this morning. According to police reports, a team of Bisnupur commando under the supervision of Additional Superintendent of Police detained 1 Tata S Urban Bro vehicle bearing registration number MN02C0080 at Bisnupur Block Lamkhai. On thorough checking of the vehicle, the team detected 100 cans of beer from the vehicle. The apprehended person has been identified as Rakesh Kumar Gupta, 21 years old, son of Lokesh Kumar Gupta of Simha in Samastipur, Bihar, currently staying at Churachandpur Old Bazaar. The person along with the seized item was handed over to Excise Station, Bisnupur for further necessary action. Here we have a short commercial break. Please stay tuned for more update.
Notice the ahan oina RBI na regulate toba amasung Ministry of Finance, Department of Financial Services, Government of India na Surface 2002 gi makada financial institution ama oina sakhang kraba Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana Housing for All mission gi makada subsidized home loan pibada mangjil thariba Panthoibi Housing Finance Company Limited amadi masigi sister company singi Guwahati yauna branch taraundoi hangdokchare chahi 13 ki khongchata lakraba Panthoibi Housing Finance Company Limited gi miyamna financial facilities sing lawirana ningsingjari Panthoibi Housing Finance Company Limited and its sisters company Uripok Taurambam Laikai.
Welcome back again after the break. India recorded 2.55 lakh new COVID-19 cases with 614 deaths in the last 24 hours, 16.39% lower than Monday's figure of 3.06 lakh cases. During the same period, the country reported 4.89 lakh deaths and active caseload stood at 2.36 lakh. Active cases constitute 5.62% of the country's total positive cases. Meanwhile, with 2.67 lakh patients recovered in the last 24 hours, and the cumulative tally of recovered patients currently stood at 3.70 crore. Consequently, India's recovery rate stood at 93.15% so far, with the administrations of more than 62 lakh vaccine doses in the last 24 hours. India's COVID-19 vaccination coverage has exceeded 162.92 crore across the country. Prime Minister Narendra Modi today, while interacting with members of the Bharatiya Janata Party, lauded Election Commission and said that India's electoral process has set a benchmark for various countries. Prime Minister Modi said that India is one of the countries where the Election Commission can issue a notice to people and transfer officials. Prime Minister Modi's remarks on the Election Commission comes on the same day as India celebrates National Voters' Day. According to BJP, Prime Minister will be interacting with party members all across the country today. Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu today urged the Election Commission and the citizens to ensure the voter turnout of 75% in the next general elections to make electoral democracy more inclusive. He also sought consensus on simultaneous polls to sustain the tempo of development. In a message on the occasion of the 12th National Voters' Day,